That is, of course, James Mennie. Oh, James, there's a big rumor going around.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's your birthday today.
Yeah, same damn time every year. Smack between Christmas and New Year's.
Did you get anything good today?
I worked. I'm talking to you.
Slush.
Slush. I got some extra slush. I was clearing off the snow on the back deck before I came on there. The squirrels said hi.
Well, there you go.
It's pretty much that.
Well, happy birthday anyways, my friend.
Well, listen, I appreciate that, and as does Denzel Washington and Maggie Smith.
Oh, well, there you go. You're in great company. Or they are in amazing company.
Well, yeah. Well, it depends. It's all a matter of perspective, as we know.
Well, tell me about perspective. I was intrigued by your first topic. You're really seeing Christian Dubé as a possible dauphin for François Legault?
Listen, okay? We're referring, for those of you who are just joining us, folks, we're referring to, it's a year-end thing that Léger Marketing does with Quebecor.
Yeah.
And what they do is they have, they rate the popularity of various politicians.
It's the beauty contest. It's the annual beauty contest.
Well, yes, it is, okay? And some people say, well, it's meaningless. It's just a popularity contest. Guess what? Politics is a popularity contest.
Yep.
Politics is also a beauty contest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have to be careful when you look at these things because, you see the top 10. And, François Legault, no big surprise there. He's in your face every day.
Yeah.
He's the most recognizable politician in all of Quebec. Mm-hmm. And it's clear that people are paying attention because even though he had a 62% approval rating, he also had a 33% disapproval rating. And that 62 is down from 72 a mere, 2 years ago. But here's what's interesting. You've got people like Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, head of the PQ. He scores number 5, okay? With he's got 48% approval rating. This is the same Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon who I think never got out of low single digits during the election campaign when they asked, "Who do you see as being the best premier of Quebec?" So what you're seeing in this list, of course, is going to be an echo of what you remember last. And
sure.
Saint-Pierre Plamondon, who was hopping up and down, getting all kinds of headlines about the refusal to take the oath to King Charles III. That is one of the reasons that he's there. But Christian Dubé, I find interesting. Yeah, he came in second place, 59%, just 3 points under Legault, but with a much smaller disapproval rating of 20%, even though this is a guy who was in charge of the healthcare system that everyone loves to hate. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, if you've been following, and a lot of people, as I say, a lot of people see these politicians on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. And if you see Christian Dubé, no matter what you want to say, you can hate the CAQ government all you want. You can hop up and down. He is in the franglais sense of the word. He's a very sympathetic guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't come across at all the way Legault comes across.
No, not at all.
He sounds almost apologetic, and he is literally a case of a fish out of water. This guy is a business executive. Mm-hmm. And he is, he was the Treasury Board, then he moves over to Health when it was really crumbling, and he seems to have been holding all the pieces together. And even if he isn't, he gives you the impression that he's really trying, and it may not be sincere. I'm not suggesting it isn't sincere, but it sure as hell sounds sincere. And that's half the battle, as far as I'm concerned, if you're in politics. If people give you some credibility, they may disagree with you, but they're not going to turn around and say you're just talking, through your hat. He seems to rub people the right way. François Legault turned 65 this year. And we both know, and I think a lot of our listeners know, the next 4 years isn't going to be all beer and Skittles for the CAQ. There's no pandemic to hide behind. You got to make some hard choices. You're going to get people angry. And, will François Legault's character be able to carry him through the next 4 years of even if the so-called official opposition, the opposition parties, are pretty well handcuffed because of their tiny numbers, public opinion, which is something that figures very, very largely in the plans of the Coalition Avenir Québec, can shift and shift quickly. I think people realize that we're heading into a lot of uncertain times, certainly uncertain economic times. And, François Legault's delivery is going to have to, how can I put it, be similar to that of Christian Dubé if he wants to keep those numbers up. But the other thing we have to remember as well is Christian Dubé came to play. Remember, he was first elected as a CAQ MNA in the opposition, and he left.
Yep.
He resigned. He went back to the private sector.
The Liberals named him, the government I was part of named him at the Caisse de Dépôt.
Yeah, Caisse de Dépôt, exactly. You know? And it was like, well, you know, he won't be back. Well, yeah, guess what? He came back because the numbers said they're going to win, and it was clear he was going to get a cabinet position.
Sure.
So in the end, you know, yes, he comes across as being very affable, very likable, sincere, but he also has an agenda. And honestly, I mean, he's been putting up with health for, you know, what seems an interminable amount of time. But the fact is, where do you go from here, Mr. Dubé? Do you want to do this for the next 4 years, and after that you're out of politics, or do you have other things in mind? Now, we can look at number 3, and I could turn around and say, well, Geneviève Guilbeault, you know, I mean, she's in the public eye as well. You know, is she the dauphin? But we also remember that Geneviève Guilbeault, and I'm sure the opposition will remind all of us, and indeed perhaps if there's a leadership campaign, the CAQ itself will remind us when Minister of Public Security, Madame Guilbeault, was asked, well, what happens if people don't obey Bill 21? And do you recall her answer?
Yes, I do. Go ahead.
Call the police.
Yeah, call the police.
No. Which would have been, okay, gas comme les autres if it was somebody else. This was the woman who was in charge of you know, overseeing police forces in Quebec. So I look at Christian Dubé, you know, I'm not going to get in his head. He's going to make his own decisions. But right now, and as I said yesterday, François Legault should be looking over one shoulder to make sure his caucus, his oversized, you know, golden horde-sized caucus stays in line. I'd be looking over my other shoulder at Christian Dubé as well. As far as I know, everything's Jake between them. I see publicly, I see no light between them. But these are two very determined men, and you really want to ask yourself. And François Legault, to be fair, has not been super specific about how long he wants to stay in politics.
No, he hasn't.
So, you know, it could be interesting. And as I say, this is not the Ten Commandments, this poll. This is not written in stone. But I just find certain elements of it to be very, very intriguing, shall we say.
Well,
and when you see someone like, you know, the much reviled and stomped all over Justin Trudeau polling 47% approval, he's in 8th place in the top 10, 47% approval, 49% disapproval. I'd say you're doing something right at this point.
Very right.
If I was too popular right now, I'd be worried because I'd run out of steam. But, you know, it's the only thing worse, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing worse in politics than people saying bad things about you is people not talking about you at all. So I think it's going to be an interesting year for the CAQ, for François Legault, Christian Dubé. And I think some interesting times are coming down the pike for Justin Trudeau as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it could convince him to go for it in 2023 to call another election.
Oh, I'd respectfully disagree. I'm
not saying it. I mean, it could. I know Tom Mulcair is convinced of this, but I'm not saying it will happen.
No. Well, I'm not. You know, I always say if I was,
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I don't see it. I would not bet on it. But what I would bet on is in 2023, you're going to see how can I put it? Perhaps a more robust, outspoken Justin Trudeau than we've seen thus far. And I think it's going to start with the premiers.
Yeah.
He's already said, remember, that they were categorical.
Yeah.
They said, we want that increase in health care funding. And you know what, Trudeau? We don't want any strings attached. You just give us the money and shut up. And now Trudeau's he's not suggesting that, oh, well, I'll see. He's saying, no, I want to see. In other words, he's like the bank manager saying, I want to see your business plan before I start giving you more cash over here.
No, absolutely.
But in a way, you know, is he dragging his coat for the premiers? Because if you look, okay, there's Justin Trudeau. Who speaks for the premiers? Who speaks for the famous or infamous, you know, Council of the Federation? I mean, let's face it, the most visible is Legault. And he doesn't give a fig about the rest of the country. All he cares about is Quebec. Doug Ford is going through, how can I put it, something of a popularity reset right now. In other words, he's only slightly less popular than Anthrax in Ontario. So who exactly is going to rally the troops to say, listen, we got to put this guy Trudeau in place? I think Trudeau smells the division, and as as has been the case in the past.
Yes.
The provinces will talk, we'll have a common front, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You pick them off one by one, you do side deals, Bob's your uncle. And in the end, they'll take what you give them, and they will have to cave. This impasse cannot continue. But what? We're going to have all the provinces leaving the Confederation. What happens then? Where do you get your money then? To a certain extent, I think a lot of these premiers have painted themselves into a corner using their own tongues as a brush.
Mm. On that note, un très joyeux anniversaire, mon ami.
Merci bien. I will be here same bat time. I'll be here a little older tomorrow.
But always the wisest.
We can but hope. À demain, mon ami.
À demain, mon ami. James Mennie of the Montreal Gazette.